Hi viewers, so let's start today's analysis. I think a good day for trading today on the Indian markets. After a long time, I think Nifty has closed above 10 DEMA, although it could not cross or touch 20 DEMA, but at least it has closed above 10 DEMA after a long time. So that's one good news. That's what the candle charts are showing on the Nifty. So before we deep dive into the Indian markets, let's take a small glimpse of what has happened around us in terms of global markets. So yesterday was a good trading day for US. I think 50% of the losses were covered for Nasdaq yesterday. Even Nvidia, which is around 17% down on Monday, it was 9% up tomorrow. So it has covered almost 45%, 50% of its losses. So we had at least $1 trillion of selling in IT industry all over the globe. $1 trillion is almost equal to one third of India's GDP. But we have recovered almost 50% of whatever losses has been done in the past 2 days. So that's one good news. Apart from that, Dow also rallied, and I think now it's trading at 3 months high. It's very close to its all-time high as well. And S&P we already saw in the last week making two all-time highs on consecutive days. So that was the global markets. In terms of US, again, today we have a very data-driven day. We have a Fed policy today from US, so we'll be waiting for General Powell's comments around 12:30 midnight. What he says, I don't think there'll be any big decision on the interest rate cuts. There'll be a status quo. His commentary would be very important. I don't think he'll be saying that he's very ready to go for massive rate cuts. The market is not expecting not even a single rate cut now, although the dot plot is saying two rate cuts for the calendar year. But the market is saying the market is expecting that it will happen one or may not happen any rate cut this year. That's what the market expectations are. That is how the hope has been built up, and that is how the markets have been poised today. But if he gives any positive surprise in terms of very bearish commentary, which I think market has already anticipated, but he gives anything which is very bullish commentary, then actually market will cheer for it, and we'll see huge movements in terms of dollar and bond yields, etc. for US. So that's very important even today, which is going to happen at midnight. Apart from that, in US today is a very tech-heavy day because we have from three tech companies, big tech companies, I think Meta, Google, Microsoft, they'll be giving their numbers today. So market will be reacting. I think they will be post-market hours. So market will be reacting in futures only. That's another big data from US that has to come. So that is how the big data from US is looking like. Apart from that, what has happened in DeepSeek? So some of the videos or some of the comments, some of the experts are saying that in the models of AI of DeepSeek, if you probably ask very vital questions on Chinese market or Chinese government, a very standard answer comes that it's not in my scope. So again, a typical Chinese kind of a dominated AI software, which probably has been made. One more thing has been just popped up around 320, 325 when the market was just closing. That Alibaba has also announced that they have also made an AI model which is much better than DeepSeek. So that's another announcement, and probably now we've entered into an AI race very, very rapidly. Yesterday, the chairman of Nvidia also came and he announced that whatever happens, whoever is making any AI, my chips are going to be sold. So we don't see any hiccup into our market, our market conditions. We would be selling the chips, and we are sitting as of now on very high profit margins, and we'll continue to do that because we have a monopoly in terms of chip productions and also. If you see, it's on a very high market cap kind of a company, Nvidia, which is sitting on. Still, they have 55% margins. So that's a huge margin, and that's how it has reached to those kind of levels where any 1% or 2% change it leads to one more reliance of India, either being made or being destroyed. That's how it is. Uh, so that is how we have a DeepSeek, and this probably Alibaba has also announced that we'll be coming with a. We already made one AI model which is much better than DeepSeek. And so that this war has begun. I think this war will continue. Whatever anybody says, whatever anything happens in the market, probably this area and this industry will consolidate a lot. There'll be a lot of players coming into the market, and this dominant position of US probably will not stand. It will find its middle path. I'm not saying that probably we'll go down to the levels of only DeepSeek or something, but probably we may not be too high in terms of spending on semiconductors as Nvidia is doing right now. So probably there'll be a middle path somewhere. There also one more news which has come from Chinese markets that they were very short on Nvidia. they have bought a lot of puts in Nvidia, and this is a hedge fund manager. I told yesterday also, the person who was the hedge fund manager who's probably made this software of AI. So he was also they were sitting on very bearish positions on Nvidia, and that is why the news came out just before going on holidays. So Chinese markets are closed from yesterday onwards, and yesterday, day before yesterday, only announced that we have made a model which is much better than probably Nvidia and all. So that is also one kind of news which is floating. We don't know what is the truth, but that is what it has been told. And these things do happen. We know how Chinese people interfere in US markets and other global markets in this way. So that is also a situation, and that is also a reality which we have to keep in mind while deciding any buy or sell decision on our IT stocks, or at least on our semiconductor or chip driven stocks. So just be careful on those two fronts. So this was from the Chinese market, and from the Nasdaq, we are expecting a data driven day from US in terms of Fed commentary and those tech earnings. Apart from that, if we come to the Indian markets, I think so. We had results yesterday from the auto companies. TVS Motor came during the trading day hours, and it was a good set of results. Yesterday, Bajaj Auto was giving the results, again good set of results. Maruti Suzuki also gave the results in the market hours, pretty okay kind of a results. So auto companies are doing well, and that is why the auto index for up around 1.5%. And we have been telling last 10-15 days that auto index is bottomed down. This is the right time to buy. I don't know whether those levels will reach, will get again or not, but I think those are good levels to buy. And if at all RBI goes for a rate cut on Tuesday, or let's say on 7th, then probably this is again a good scenario for these rate sensitive stocks. Apart from that, I think Bank Nifty is continuing to do well. It has performed well today. Even Nifty is performing well today, but the problem is it is only driven by short covering. FIIs are really selling in cash. They're not stopping. So yesterday also they have done short covering, but they were net sellers in terms of cash. Around 5,000 crores they have sold. Against that, DIs have bought around 6,800 crores, but that kind of cash selling still continues from the FIs. See, this selling also comes because they sometimes play arbitrage also. So if you know how arbitrage funds work, you actually short the futures of the stock and you buy the stocks in cash. So now if I have to exit the positions, to square off my short position of the futures, I have to buy stock futures and have to sell in cash. So those kind of trades are also happening. So it's not that we should be only looking to the selling in cash and get carried away, or get fearsome on those things. But that is an arbitrage trade which plays out, which is also playing in the market. But overall, I think we were around 350,000 contracts short in last week. Now we are left to only 210,000, and probably today also some short covering has happened, and we will be seeing tomorrow. I think we'll be less than 2 lakhs, probably a 1.8 lakhs or 1.7 lakhs of short into the system. And tomorrow the expiry date, it's a monthly expiry, so we might see some fireworks either side. It will not be that FI have to only sell their positions tomorrow itself. See, be very careful. FIs, if they have to do their short covering, but to keep the market in the same range, they will sell the shorts once again, or they will sell the futures or whatever they have to take the bearish positions for the next expiry. So it's not that they have to compulsory be covering their positions only. They will only press the button if at all they feel that the bottom has been done. Whatever capitulation has to be done, it has gone. The bad news is all out, and now we're entering into a good quarter. If they get a glimpse of it, then only you will see a massive short covering. Otherwise, you will see short covering again. There will be a sell off, then short covering, then sell off, and market will keep on doing that. And probably the stop losses on both sides will keep on be hitting. So be careful on those fronts. But yes, there are shorts in the system, and if at all we have good Fed commentary today, then probably who knows, tomorrow we'll see a massive covering, a short covering, and the markets can rally to a large extent. Another thing which we are seeing is that large capitulation which happened yesterday on the promoters selling of the stocks. See, one thing which is happening is the DIs are buying in very great quantities now from 2-3 days. So they were sitting on cash. As per the mutual fund data, they had a cash of around 2.2 lakh crores, which they are deploying very fast now. So yesterday also, if you see 5,100 crore cash selling was done by FIs, but 6,800 crores of cash was bought by the DIs. So generally they are matching the figures or they were less. But last 2-3 days they are net buyers by a great margin, which shows that DIs are also very confident now that the larger capital has been done. We have reached to a valuation which is decent enough, and these are the levels to buy. So since those kind of things are also appearing, and if DIs are thinking that, they will keep on putting into cash. And FIs also, I think they've sold a lot. They have again sold a lot. So I don't think they should be looking for too much of capitalization going forwards. Anyways, whenever the finance-driven selling happens, what is finance-driven selling? You buy a lot of stocks. You buy a lot of stocks by taking finance from banks or the institutions and all. I think those kind of selling also happened yesterday, where we saw the panic selling, where leverage positions were taken to buy stocks. I think those kind of things also crashed yesterday, and generally those are last leg of sellings. Generally, we might have one more leg. I don't know. It can happen, but it looks like one last leg of selling has happened until unless something drastic happens. So between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, today, tomorrow, and day after, we have lot of data. What are data we have? Today we have tech earnings from Esther, which I already told. We have Fed commentary. Then we have budget on Saturday. Our earnings are still continuing. And the 1st February is very important in terms of Trump because he'll be announcing those sanctions on February. So whether he'll be announcing, not announcing, we don't know. But that is what the date he has told, that on 1st February announce my sanctions. So that is also an important date. So within these 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, lot of news and lot of things have to be swallowed by the markets, and it will not be easy because these will comes in bits and pieces, and those interpretations, those impacts have to be understood. So budget commentary understanding is not easy. Sometimes it takes more than 2-3 days to understand what Fed will comment, how the US markets will react. Sometimes they do a bit of a higher knee-jerk reaction, but the reality is something else. Then you have to wait for Fed commentary. Then how the US dollar will react, how the bond yield will react. Then we have earnings also continuing into our calendar dates. So all these data, how the tech earnings of Nasdaq will happen, then how our IT stocks will perform accordingly. So these kind of things are lined up in next 2-3 days, and that's why I say that this is very heavy data driven 3 days which are going to come. So good thing in the market is that DIs are buying in great numbers. That will probably protect our bottoms until unless we get some bad news from these 2-3 things which I'm talking about. Although let's see how it goes. Budget should be good, but we don't know. Sometimes we have surprises as in the budgets as well. So we do wait and watch. So apart from that, if you see all the other indexes today, the IT also index also bounced back. It has also covered almost 50% of its losses. So that was again a good thing which happened into the markets. So if Nifty IT will continue to support the markets, Nifty Bank looking good for whatever things have been done by RBI and other MPC meetings and all. So if that happens, also good. So if Nifty Bank and Nifty IT, if they remain contributors to Nifty, autos we already seen the bottoms. FMCG will be good because they will be expecting some rate cuts or tax cuts from the budget. So to drive the consumption, so I think those will also not give up so easily. Pharma industry also today, it covered almost 50-60% of its losses. So yesterday we saw around 2.4% of its cut due to Trump announcing that I'll be putting sanctions of foreign pharma. But today almost 60% of its losses has been covered. So this sanctions business, no, this will happen, and it will happen very temporarily. It will have those impacts on 1 or 2 days, but the markets will again focus on how exactly the industry is, what is the amount of trade, how much sanctions, how much hit on profitability, really whether he's putting sanctions or not. So those things market will keep on interpreting and going onto the very calibrated mode in that way. We may have some knee-jerk reactions like we had yesterday for Nvidia, but probably things will not be so one-sided that the news has come and they will last sell off. I think things are pretty much in the price now. Not much has to happen from here on. So I think now we have to just wait for how these data come and probably how the markets pan out to this data. As of now, markets are looking strong. Today we had around 3.3% gains in Nifty small cap, which is again equal to whatever losses we had yesterday. Even mid cap has performed, has covered all its losses for yesterday. In fact, much better than that because it was around 2.3% up. So mid cap is also looking good and looking stable. We are seeing buying into the markets once again, and the bulls have become again active. So combining all these things, apart from those data-driven things which we are seeing for next 3 days, the markets are looking strong, and the market party should continue. That is what it is looking like from the screen. The market has closed about 10 DEMA. We would have liked it to close about 20 DEMA. But let's see how the market pans out tomorrow. Tomorrow, the expiry day. So action will be on. A lot of fireworks are expected. So fasten your seatbelt and wait for tomorrow. As of now, market's looking strong. That's the bottom line. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.